Welcome, everyone. This is Up to Snuff, and the show we have today is Urusei Yatsura. Now, to be specific, this is from 2022. I know there's an older version. I'm going to get to that, but all I can say to start off with is the design is beautiful. Everything else, subpar. Now, I think the most important thing to get into, just to start off with, is the theme song. The theme song is really great. Honestly, both of them are. Both of them are really great. At least to me, I really like them. They're designed so nicely. The colors are very vibrant. Now, the original version of the show was from the 70s, I believe? The 80s. So the show is being brought back from its stasis. It's definitely a very interesting show to be watching. I really like a lot about the show. The colors are fun. It is trying to keep itself pretty similar to the past version of itself. Now, I didn't watch 100% of the past. I'll tell you that honestly, but I have seen a lot about it. And listen, it's not that bad. But you got to understand, Lum. This is the main character. Her name is Lum. She's an alien coming down to Earth. She tries to marry this guy, Ataru. I can't even get these names. Ataru Moroboshi. I swear I've heard his name like 5 times in this show, but I hear Lum's name like 100. But anyway, this guy, main guy, pretty much just a pervert. Just a weirdo, honestly, only for girls. Really a creep. That's unfortunately what I have to say on him, but that's the truth. He's really weird, really creepy. Lum is fine. Lum loves the guy, and I really do have a large appreciation for Lum as a character. I mean, we wouldn't have a lot of the types of anime characters that we have now without her. She really brought out a lot of what types of characteristics a lot of anime characters have now, especially female characters. And that's something that I do want to say wholeheartedly. Like, I respect that fact. And because we didn't really have anime characters looking like that, at least to the degree that they drew it back then. We didn't have too much before that. Yeah, you could say Astro Boy. That's all well and good. It's not to what it is now. Surely it's a good step, but it's not what it is now. Anyway, a lot of the characters really nice. I do want to touch on that. The characters are really nice. They all have their differences. Listen, they're not all perfect. They're really not. But they each add something to the story, and I feel like if the story itself is not that great. Unfortunately, I got to say the story it's definitely episodic to a degree. Except, maybe for the first few episodes, it tries to build an actual plot. But, I can barely consider this romance. But each of these characters really does add a little bit of comedy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we wouldn't be anywhere without them. Some characters that, I'd say really add a lot to it. I'm really going to butcher a lot of these names, but some simple ones. Ray, 10 is pretty funny with a fire breathing. If you watch it, you'll understand. Ran is nice. Oyuki is nice. There are a few that are just really fun to watch, if that makes sense. I don't really want to get too much into the characters. Listen, they're nice, but they're not amazing. They keep the show going, but only to a certain extent. Listen, it's 71 average. That's the average score right now. I really don't think it's all that incredible, really at all, but it has something. If you want to see some light comedy, don't expect too much out of the plot, don't expect too much out of the characters, but hopefully you see something, then this may be the show for you. It's fine probably for a younger audience. Yes, I know how they're dressed, but I would still honestly say this is probably more geared towards I would say even like 11 to 15-year-olds rather than older. I'm a little older than that, so I would say I'm probably not their best audience, but it's still fine. It's an all right show. Don't expect too much out of it, but it really doesn't fall flat entirely. There are some episodes that do have me wondering, like, why was this really a thing? Yeah, so, some episodes, not all, but I do want to say I do want to let it be known that there is a second season to this. Now I am going to be watching that. Why wouldn't I be? Now this is considered fall 2022. There are 23 episodes in this series. Well, at least in this season. The second season is also 23 episodes, so that'll be something. Now, of course, this show really is just slapstick. I really do want to make that clear, but there are some fun aspects to it. I don't want you to completely disregard the show. Listen, if you're looking for ecchi scenes, this probably isn't entirely the right show, but to each their own, I guess. That's kind of what it is. Let me look and see what other stuff there is, because I gotta just see a little bit more about what there is to talk about. I didn't really write anything down for this one, so that really is it. Now it's time for the final rating, and yeah, I was kind of interested in this to begin with. It was a fun thing to see. The colors looked nice. Everything looked like it had possibility. So, as you know, F is failing. D is really not great. C minus you'd consider to be generic. C is average. B is above average. A is outstanding. This is not outstanding. This is not really above average even. I would say that this is, for the most part, average. And, some may be wondering, well, why isn't it above average? Or why isn't it even below average? Because it kind of, some people may think it really could be below average. Well, it's certainly not above average, because there really isn't anything that stands out about the series, really, besides the theme song. If you haven't seen the theme song, I really suggest it. It's like everything everywhere. It's crazy. But as for it not being below average, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think to put the series at a C minus is kind of not giving it as much credit as it deserves. And it really does deserve a little bit more than you may think. And if you're judging it because you're on the older side, I think that's kind of bias, to be honest. So that's where I'm going to put it, a solid C. If anyone else watches it and thinks it's that much above or below, I think you're going to really find it at a C, but that's just me. And thanks for your time. See you next time for another one.